Okay, Dinner on a Dime family, I am here again this morning to show you 5 more foods that you can use well past their expiration date in your kitchen. So my name is Misty. Welcome to the channel if you're new. If you're not new, thanks for sticking around. So again, this is part 4 in a 4-part series. So if you've not seen videos 1 through 3 in this series, please go back and watch those. And over the course of the 4 videos, you are getting a peek at 20 foods, 20 total, that you can take well past their expiration date. Okay, so we're gonna get started with today's video. The first one is actually alcohol. Okay, so I've got a bottle of just Tito's vodka here. This one, and let me show you the other one that we pretty much always have in our house. This is whiskey, just Buffalo Trace whiskey. Okay, now we don't use this very often, okay? This bottle of vodka we've had for a long time, and you can see it's still very full. The whiskey a little less so, but that's because my husband does drink an old fashioned every once in a while. But we could find this stuff sitting around forever if we weren't using it for something. And so alcohol will last you indefinitely if it is sealed, okay? If it is not sealed, again, watch for deterioration, watch for weakening flavors, all that kind of stuff. We've never had a problem taking our alcohol until we finish a full bottle, okay? I will say that, but to each their own on that one, okay? I honestly don't even know if any of this has an expiration date on it. That's how much attention I pay to how often we go through a bottle. I don't see any expiration dates even on this, guys, okay? So anyways, what can you do, like if you find yourself with alcohol just sitting around, okay? Maybe you get to a point where you're like, okay, we've had this vodka, we got it as a gift and we've had it hanging around for a really long time. What's something that we can make out of it? Or, yeah, my husband was drinking old fashions, but now he's really not. What's something that I can use up this whiskey with, right? There are all sorts of cooking recipes that you can use alcohol in. Don't worry, the alcohol burns off, okay? It leaves a flavor, but it burns off. You're not gonna get your kids wasted or anything off of if you're cooking with some alcohol in it. Of course, you can make cocktails with it. You can make extracts. It's really good for deglazing pans. You can use it in marinades. In fact, one of the marinades I just made with chicken recently was a margarita chicken, and it called for tequila. I don't have tequila. I wasn't going to go buy it special for the recipe, so I looked it up and it said you could use vodka instead, and so that is what I did. You can use it in desserts and flambés. You can use it to make reductions with. You can infuse oils with it, and it makes a good glass cleaner. Okay, so there are some things you can do with alcohol besides just drinking it, right? Obviously, I included cocktails, but it's pretty much gonna last you indefinitely if it's sealed, and I'm sure you can find a good way to go through a bottle, just simply by making marinades and cooking with it, okay? All right, next up, we have chocolate. Okay, chocolate. This bag of my chocolate expires at the end of this year, which is fine. Again, we're coming up on cookie and baking season and all the fun things. But if I didn't use it, how long could I carry it past the expiration date? Easily 2 years past the expiration date. Now, if you start to see a little bit of white form on your chocolate, that does not mean it is bad. That is what is called sugar bloom. It's like the fats coming out of the chocolate, I guess is how it works. But it is harmless, so you're still okay to use it, okay? So what can you use chocolate for if you just find you have chocolate sitting around? Man, I wish I had that problem where I just had chocolate sitting around all the time, but I don't, because guess what? If I don't eat it, one of my kids is going to. But you can bake with it, of course. You can make hot cocoa. You can make mole sauce for enchiladas. You can make barbecue sauce for like chicken. You can add a little bit of chocolate to stews. It adds a real richness to a stew. You can make ganache. You can make glazes. You can make chocolate bark, pudding, ice cream. You can make your own chocolate syrup. Or if you just can't find a way to eat your chocolate, you can make chocolate scented candles or chocolate scented sugar scrubs. You can do with chocolate, okay? I'm gonna find a way to eat my chocolate, especially with the cost of chocolate right now. I'm gonna find a way to eat that. All right, next up, we have got hot sauces. So for this example, I've got a bottle of Frank's Red Hot sauce. It expires in 2027, but how long would I feel comfortable taking that past its best by date? At least 5 years if it's still sealed up and closed, okay? What are some things you can use hot sauce for? You, again, can make marinades. You can make chili. You can make a spicy mayo. It is really good to add to soup if you want that punch, that flavor bomb in your soup. You can make spicy marinades and brines with it. You can make glazes with it. You can freeze it as flavor cubes. So if you find you're getting close to the expiration date or after the expiration date and you still don't think you're going to use it, you can freeze it in cubes and then you have it to drop into recipes later to extend the life even further. Or, I mean, if you got this sitting around and you got the right type of this sitting around, you can make Bloody Marys, right? So there you go. Different ways to use hot sauce. 5+ years. All right, we're going to skip over this one. We're going to come back to it. I'm going to hide it. We're going to come back to it. All right, probably one of my favorite things that I do is stock up on meat when it is on sale and stick it into my freezer. On sale, on clearance, right? So frozen meat is what we're going to talk about next. Here I've got just a stick of pork chorizo, frozen. I've got some roasted chicken that I pulled off the bone when I roasted chicken. And I've got a pound of hamburger that got weirdly frozen into that shape in the freezer. Meat will last a long, long time in the freezer, okay? I have seen all sorts of videos that recommend that you don't take meat past a certain point in the freezer. I've never had a problem with any meat that I've pulled out of the freezer, no matter how long it's been in there. It has cooked up just fine, okay? Some things you would want to look for would be like quality decline. If you had some sort of freezer issue go on or something and all of a sudden you pull out a package of hamburger and instead of looking like this, it looks really dark brown or something like that, I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. If it's starting to get freezer burned, I would use it up, and we'll talk about what to do with freezer burn meat. But if you notice any sort of smell or color change or things like that, I'm not gonna mess with that, okay? And in all the years I've been doing this, where I stock up on meat in my freezers and I pull it out just whenever I pull it out and use it, I have only once opened a package of meat and started cooking it that I thought, this doesn't smell great. And when I did, we just didn't eat that meat that night, okay? We just tossed it. But as long as you're keeping it in the freezer and you're not, having any sort of issues with your freezer, your meat will last you a very long time in the freezer. Very long time. Okay, so what are some things you can do with meat? Make meals with it, right? Stews, curries, shredded meat. If you have bones left with it, make stock and broth. You can marinate it, you can make jerky with it, you can barbecue it, you can braise it. Now, what I will say is if your meat is starting to get a little freezer burned, okay, make a dish that is highly seasoned, okay, where it's either very highly seasoned or it's soaked in some sort of sauce that's gonna add a lot of moisture and flavor to it, okay? So that would be my words of caution on that one. I am gonna go ahead and stick this meat back in the freezer real quick, just because I don't want it to start thawing out, because that's not what I'm trying to do here. I don't want to thaw out all of this meat. I just wanted to show you some examples of meat. Okay, sorry guys, my video quit recording because I guess I maxed out the capacity of memory in my camera, so I had to address that issue. Okay, lastly, we are going to talk about coconut milk, okay? This can of coconut milk is best by 2026, the end of 2026. I would be willing to take it up to 5 years past its expiration date. However, I picked this can for a reason. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see it on camera or not, but this can is dented. That is how it came from Sam's Club. I ordered a 6-pack of these online, and that's just how this one particular can came. It is dented right here. So I will make sure that this one gets used first. I will watch it for any signs of like bulging or rust or anything like that to make sure that this can stays in good condition until I use it. But like I said, since it is dented, we will make sure that we use that one first. So what are some things we can do with coconut milk? You can make, obviously, curry, squash soup, dessert, whipped topping. sorry, you can add it in smoothies, you can make ice cream, you can make salad dressing, you can make dips, and just like our hot sauce over here, if we think we're gonna get to a point where we're not gonna use this and we need to preserve it further, we can freeze it into cubes for later, okay, for later use. But 5 years past its expiration date, but again, keep in mind when you have cans that are damaged, let's make sure we get those utilized first so that they don't sit around and go bad on our shelves, okay? So that is 5 more ingredients that you can use well past their expiration date or their best buy date, right? Okay, make sure you've liked the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you get notified when I post new content. And if there are other ingredients you would like to see me do in maybe some future videos about how long you can take foods past the expiration date, drop them in the comments, and then maybe I can come up with another 20 and we'll do another 4-part series where we go over 20 more foods that we can take well past their expiration date, okay? And that's it for today. So I hope you enjoyed this video series. I enjoyed filming it for you, and I will see you in the next videos. Bye.